Before time had a name, before space knew its limits, before silence could even be called silence, there was a moment so vast that the human mind can barely touch it. No sun burned in the sky, no stars marked the heavens, no earth rested beneath unseen feet. There was no beginning as we understand it, because there was no before. There was only eternity, endless, unmeasured, alive. And in that eternal stillness, where nothing existed yet everything was possible, something happened that would forever change reality itself. Eternity spoke. This was not a whisper drifting through darkness, nor an explosion of chaos tearing the void apart. It was a voice of absolute authority, calm and unchallenged, carrying power so complete that resistance was impossible. When that voice spoke, existence did not hesitate. It obeyed. Light did not fight its way into being, it emerged in response. Darkness did not collapse in fear, it retreated in recognition. For the first time, there was distinction, light and darkness, presence and absence, meaning and emptiness. And with that single command, the universe took its very first breath. Time began to move forward. The voice spoke again, and structure followed. What was once formless received boundaries. Waters that moved without direction were separated with intention. Some lifted high above, others settled below, and between them the sky stretched wide, vast and purposeful. Space was no longer empty, it was prepared. The heavens became a silent witness, expanding outward, holding the weight of what was unfolding. Creation was not random, it was deliberate. Every separation carried meaning, every boundary revealed order. Then the voice commanded the earth itself to rise, and the surface of the world was transformed. The waters gathered and withdrew, making room for solid ground to appear beneath the light. Mountains emerged as if awakened from an ancient sleep. Valleys formed pathways for rivers not yet flowing. The land stood firm, stable, and ready, and life followed immediately. Green spread across the surface of the world, not slowly, not uncertainly, but with confidence. Grass covered the fields, trees stretched upward toward the sky, seeds carried futures unseen. Nothing existed by chance. Every root sank where it belonged, every branch reached where it was meant to grow. Light returned once more, not simply to illuminate, but to govern. The sun was placed to rule the day, pouring warmth and rhythm into the world. The moon took its place in the night, steady and faithful, marking time in quiet cycles. Stars were scattered across the heavens in numbers beyond counting, each one fixed with precision, each one a signal that order now reigned where emptiness once ruled. Days began to follow nights, seasons learned to change, time gained direction, and then movement filled creation. The sea swarmed with life, creatures gliding through the depths, designed with purpose woven into their very form. Above the waters, wings cut through the air as birds filled the sky with motion and sound. Creation was no longer silent. It breathed, it moved, it responded. Life multiplied in harmony, each creature according to its nature, each one fitting perfectly into the balance of the world. Finally, life stepped onto the land. Animals of every kind moved across the earth, some strong, some gentle, some roaming freely, others living together. And then, from the dust of the ground itself, something entirely different was formed: humanity. Not merely alive, but aware. Not guided only by instinct, but capable of thought, imagination, and choice. Humanity was shaped with intention, carrying within them reflection, the image of the one who spoke everything into being. They were not placed in the world as accidents, nor as rulers without responsibility. They were entrusted with care, with stewardship, with purpose. The Creator did not withdraw from them. Communication was natural, presence was close. There was no fear in that relationship, no shame, no separation. Trust flowed freely because nothing had yet been broken. But freedom always carries weight, because the ability to choose includes the ability to turn away. And so, within a world overflowing with abundance, a single boundary existed, not as restriction, but as reminder. Humanity was powerful, but not ultimate, created, but not the creator. Obedience was not demanded blindly, it was invited. And in the quiet space where choice lived, temptation entered, not as force, but as suggestion. A question planted softly, a doubt shaped gently, a desire to reach beyond trust and define good on their own terms. And when that choice was made, the universe did not collapse, but something deeper fractured. Fear replaced innocence, shame replaced openness. Humanity hid, not because the Creator vanished, but because trust had been wounded. The harmony between heaven and earth was strained. The ground itself would now resist. Work would require struggle. Pain would walk alongside beauty. Not because creation was evil, but because it was now broken. Yet even then, humanity was not abandoned. Mercy spoke where judgment could have ended everything. A promise was planted within the fracture, quiet but unbreakable. A promise that separation would not last forever, that history would not end in ruin, that restoration was already moving forward. Time continued to unfold, carrying both light and shadow within it. Generations rose and fell. Humanity searched for meaning, sometimes listening, sometimes refusing. Violence grew, pride hardened hearts, and still, the voice of eternity continued to call, through whispers, through warnings, through hope. Until one day, eternity did not merely speak into time, it stepped into it. But that is where the next chapter begins.